Hara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Jai. Mathurapuri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai.
Jai.
Bhakti Devi Tulasi Devi ki Jai.
Jai.
Shyam Veda Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Jai.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtuki. So we are reading Canto 1, Chapter 17, titled Punishment and the Reward of Kali. And today's text number is 24. So I will read 3 times and then you can please recite. Tapaha socham daya satyam iti padaha krate krataha adharmam shastrayo bhagna ismaya sangha madestava. Tapaha socham daya satyam iti padaha krate krataha adharmam shastrayo bhagna ismaya sangha madestava. Tapah socham daya satyam iti padaha krate krataha adharmam shastre trayo bhagna ismaya sangha madestava. Please recite.
Tapha saucham daya satyam iti pada krite krita adharmam shaistrayo bhagna smaya sangha madaistava.
Tapasaucham daya satyam iti padakrite krita adharma mamaya istrayo bhagna smaya sangamadestava. Hare Krishna.
Anyone else?
Tapasaucham daya satyam iti pada krite krita adharmam shaitrayo bhagna smaya sangha madaistava.
Hare Krishna. Tapasaucham daya satyam iti pada krite krita adharmam sastraya bhagna smaya sangha madaitava.
So we will read the word-to-word translation. Tapaha, austerity. Saucham, cleanliness. Daya, mercy. Satyam, truthfulness. Iti, thus. Padaha, legs. Krate, in the age of Satya. Krataha, established. Adharma, irreligiosity. Amsha, by the parts. Trayaha, 3 combined. Bhagnaha, broken. Ismaya, pride. Sangha, too much association with women. Madai, intoxication. Tava, you are. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Charanabandha Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In the age of Satya, the truthfulness, your 4 legs were established by 4 principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. But it appears that 3 of your legs are broken due to rampant irreligion in the form of pride, lust for women, and intoxication. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The deluding energy or the material nature can act upon living beings proportionately in the terms of living beings falling prey to the deluding attraction of Maya. Moths are captivated by glaring brightness of light, and thus they become prey to the fire. Similarly, the deluding energy is always captivating the conditioned souls to become prey to the fire of delusion. In the Vedic scriptures, warn the conditioned soul not to become prey to the delusion, but to get rid of it. The Vedas warn us to not to go not to the darkness of ignorance, but to the progressive path of light. The Lord himself also warns that the deluding power of the material energy is too powerful to overcome, but one who completely surrenders unto Lord can very easily do so. But to surrender unto the lotus feet of Lord is also not very easy. Such surrender is possible by persons of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. These 4 principles of advanced civilization were a remarkable feature in the age of Satya Yuga. In that age, every human being is practically a qualified Brahmana of highest order, or in the social order of life, they were all Paramahansas, or the topmost in the renounced order. By cultural standing, the human beings were not at all subjected to the deluding energy. Such strong men of character were competent enough to get away from the clutches of Maya. But gradually, as the basic principles of Brahminican culture, namely the austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, became curtailed by proportionate development of pride, attachment for women, and intoxication. The path of salvation or the path of transcendental bliss retreated far away from human society. With the progression of age of Kali, people are becoming more proud and attached to the women and intoxication. By the influence of the age of Kali, even a pauper is proud of his spending. The women are always dressed in an overly attractive fashion to victimize the minds of the men. And the man is addicted to drinking wine, smoking, drinking tea, and chewing tobacco, etc. All these habits are so-called advancement of civilization, or the root cause of all religiosity, and therefore it is not possible to check the corruption and bribery and nepotism. Man cannot check all these evils simply by statutory act or police vigilance, but he can cure the disease of mind by proper medicine, namely advocating the principles of Brahminical culture or principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. Modern civilization and economic development are creating a new situation of poverty and scarcity with the results of blackmailing the consumers' commodities. If the leaders and the rich men of the society spend 50% of their accumulated wealth mercifully for the misled mass of the people and educate them in God consciousness, the knowledge of Bhagavatam, certainly the age of Kali will be defeated in its attempt to entrap the conditioned souls. We must always remember that the false pride are too high an estimate of one's own value of life, undue attachment to women and association with them, and intoxication will divert human civilization from path of peace. However much the people clamor for peace in the world, the preaching of the Bhagavatam principles will automatically render all men austere, clean both inside and outside, merciful to the suffering, and truthful in daily behavior. That is the way of correcting the flaws of human society, which are very prominently exhibited at the present moment. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunnitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratuse Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. So Srila Prabhupada wrote very wonderful purport to this shloka, and this whole chapter gives us a lot of instructions. So the translation again: in the age of Satya, your 4 legs were established by 4 principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. But it appears that 3 of your legs are broken due to rampant religion in the form of pride, lust for woman, and intoxication. So Srila Prabhupada writing here that in this shloka actually that the 4 legs which represent actually the 4 principles of the human platform, how we can be human if we have those 4 characteristics, like austerity, cleanliness, mercifulness, mercy, and the truthfulness. So they represent all the 4 things, which really make us human being. So if we follow those principles, we will be in the good shape, on the platform of human, and then we can progress the transcendence actually. So, but Prabhupada is saying here in Satya Yuga, these all 4 legs were intact, and you are walking on all 4 legs. And then as the days progressed, then one leg in every 4 yugas actually broken. So Treta Yuga 1 leg broken, Dwapar Yuga 1 leg broken, and Kali Yuga now only on the bull is standing on only 3 legs are broken already. So he's standing only on 1 leg of the truthfulness. And that truthfulness also we are seeing, how rapidly it's going down, how people are doing untruthful, nobody believes each other, so that thing is going on. And so, and the Kali's effect, is also working on it, and slowly Kali wants to break that leg also. So we know that this is the conversation going on between the Parikshit Maharaj and the Dharmaraj in the form of a bull. So this shloka and the next shloka, these both are the same, and after that, the thing changes. So Maharaja Parikshit actually consoling the Dharma that you should not worry, and this can be fixed. So in the last shloka, we read about the energies of the Lord. So how the energies are, Lord has so many energies, and also these are inconceivable energies, agochara. So these energies, Lord's energies are so many multifarious energies. And with those all energies, actually, Lord works. But we should not think like in the previous shlokas we read that Dharma knew who is beating him and who is the cause. But he never said that actually the Kali is breaking my legs. He never said that, because he knew that behind everything, the Lord's hand is there. Any activity we do, Lord's hand is there, because Lord is giving that kind of intelligence. Do this, everything, even a small piece of grass, that cannot also do anything himself, the Lord actually is practically, because he is in every item, he is sarvavyapi, he is in every item, and between the items also, in all the jiva souls. So Lord is everywhere. So one cannot actually say that why Lord is here and why Lord is not there. So we will read the translation purport now, and purport is very beautifully Prabhupada actually put all the points. So we will go by one by one. So he's saying that deluding energy or material nature. So Lord has the three like gunas in this Kali Yuga, and this Kali Yuga actually is run by Maya Devi in the material world, in the spiritual world by Yog Maya. So this is the same coin, two sides of the coin. It's the same personality, but here she works as Maya Devi, and in the spiritual world she works like Yoga Maya. So they both are energies of Lord, and Lord gets all the work done through these energies. So deluding energy or material nature can act upon the living being proportionately in the term of living beings falling prey to the deluding attraction of Maya. So it's very strong statement, that Prabhupada is putting here, that the more we get attracted to the Maya, we will be more deluded and more affected by these energies of the Supreme Lord. So if we are less attracted to this Maya Devi's effects in the Kali Yuga, what we see, then we will be less affected by the deluding attraction of the Maya. So like Prabhupada is giving here, the moths are captivated by the glaring brightness of light. So the moths, the small insects, when we see, like outside we put one light, and very bright light, what happens? All the small bugs, they come and they go and they sit down on the bulb, and the bulb is so hot with the bright light that they die immediately. So they become prey to the fire. So that's where they lose their life. So we are also doing the same thing. We are being attracted to the Maya Devi, and then it takes away our life even, many times, people are attracted. And Prabhupada is giving here the three things, which people are attracted to: the pride, the lust for woman, and the intoxication. So these all three are so attractive, and we see all around us, how the material energy is actually attracting everyone in this material world, except the devotees, who have taken the shelter of Lord Sharanagati, of Lord, Supreme Lord. They are saved. But other than that, everybody, because this mind you cannot keep empty, Khali Dimag Shaitan ka ghar. So this is just like a devil's workshop, if we don't pay attention and see what is the best thing for us, then we will get deluded by this Maya Devi, because Maya Devi is very, very strong. It's not that easy to overcome it. Moths are captivated by glaring brightness of the light, and thus they become prey to the fire. Similarly, the deluding energy is always captivating the conditioned soul to become prey to the fire of delusion. So this is the work of Maya Devi, to get attracted, people attracted, all the Jiva souls get attracted to Maya Devi. And then through these things, Maya Devi actually works. So it's so very important that we should not get attracted to Maya. And there are so many ways, how we can actually save ourselves from the Maya Devi. But conditioned soul become prey of the fire delusion. And the Vedic scripture warned the conditioned soul not to become prey to the delusions, but to get rid of it. So actually we should get rid of the Maya Devi's effects. And how we can do that? Because Prabhupada is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Devi yesha gunamayi mama maya durattaya mameo ye prapadante maya metan tarantite. The deluding energy, the divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature, is very difficult to overcome. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is telling that clearly, that it's very, very hard to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can very easily cross beyond it. So actually it's possible to overcome these effects of Maya if we are very careful. And we can do that actually, it's in our hand, but we have to be very strong inside, that we are not attracted by the Maya Devi. the Vedas warn us to go not to darkness of ignorance, but to progressive path of light. So in the Vedas, in the Vedic scriptures, we have seen this shloka, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityurma Mritangamaya, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So Asatoma, Asat means untruthfulness. So one should go from untruthfulness to Sadgamaya. Sad means to go to the truthfulness. And that means, we should do not that kind of work which is not, we should work for the asat means temporary things. We should not work for temporary thing, but we should do something permanent, like permanent solution to this cycle of birth and death. So how we can get out of this material world, this cycle of birth and death again and again and again. That's what we like. If we don't follow the Vedic scriptures, then we come back again. So that's why this human form of life is very rare. After how many births, we don't know, millions and millions of births, we got this rare human form of life, and we should actually use it as much as possible. So the Lord himself also warns us the deluding power of material energy is too powerful to overcome. So how we can overcome? It's written in the Vedas that Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya means we have to go from to the light, from the darkness. So we should not live in darkness, because actually only ignorance is the cause that we are in this material world. This ignorance should go away. If we come to the light, light of Bhagavatam, and we know what the Bhagavatam is telling or Bhagavad Gita is telling, and we follow the instructions, then we can come to proper knowledge. So on the top of Bhagavad Ved to Godhead magazine, we say the Godhead is the light and ignorance is the darkness. Darkness, the ignorance. So we have to go away from the darkness and go to the light, Bhagavatam. Then our life will be perfect. And Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. So because this is the Mrityulok, we say it's Mrityulok. So from the death to Amrita means so we can eternally live. And how we can eternally live? We can go to Golok Vrindavan and we can serve permanently to Lord Krishna. Then that's Amritam Gamaya. That we are eternally liberated. So that's the injunction of the Vedas. So Lord himself also wants the deluding power of material energy is too powerful to overcome. But one who completely surrenders unto the Lord can very easily do so. So there's Mame Vaya Prapadante Maya Metan Tarantite. So that those people can easily get away from this Maya Devi. But to surrender unto lotus feet of Lord is also not very easy. So why it's not easy? Because Lord didn't make it. People have to actually clean themselves inside and outside. Like outside cleaning by taking daily baths a few times, and inside cleaning is more important by hearing. Hearing is like it cleans our heart. Whatever is the dirtiness, it accumulated in the millions and millions of previous lives. It can clean all by Lord's blessings. So we have to clean our heart very nicely, and then actually we can be clean out inside and outside. Then actually that can be done. But to surrender unto lotus feet is not very easy. Such surrender is possible by persons of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. So actually, let us talk a little bit about these 4 religious principles, because they are very important. In the shloka, this is the first line in that tapa socham daya satyam. So this is the first line of the shloka. So these are very important, and they really, these 4 regular principles must follow, actually, regardless of whatever religion we are. It's not like it's for Hindus or it's for only Vedic Sanskriti followers. It's for all human beings, actually. everyone should follow regardless. They are spiritual. Even atheistic people should follow this. They are spiritual or not spiritual, they should follow these 4 rules, because every scriptures mentions it again and again. Even Jewish, Judaism, Muslim, every religion says that. All the leaders of the religion say that we should follow these basic principles actually. And Srila Prabhupada actually emphasized it all the time, and we know before accepting even initiation, we have to start following these. And at the time of initiation, we have to promise to our Gurudev that no meat eating, no illicit sex, and no intoxication, no gambling. So these things we have to actually promise, and then only we can get initiated. So these pillars of religion, pillars of dharma are actually very, very important. Austerity, cleanliness, truthfulness, and mercy or compassion. So these are very important. And whosoever is want to be a devotee, these are the first thing they have to do. Because being like on the level, like if we follow this, then we are only human being. Otherwise, there is no difference between us and animals, because animals also do whatever we do, like eating, sleeping, mating, defending. All these things are even done by the animals. So what is the difference? So that's why there is a shloka, ahara nidra bhaya methanam cha samana etat pashubhir naranam dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhir samana. So we are just like animals if we are not following the Vedic scriptures. So otherwise, if we do the same activities like animals do, eating, mating, sleeping, defending, everyone does that. So then it makes us not any superhuman being, it makes us just like animals. But if we follow the religion, and if we follow the religious principles of truthfulness, mercy, so these all legs, we follow austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. If we follow these principles up, then we are human beings. So we should follow these things. These 4 principles of advanced civilization were remarkable features in the age of Satya Yuga. So in Satya Yuga, these all 4 principles were there. Then one leg was broken in Satya Yuga, one leg was broken in the Treta Yuga, then one leg broken in the Dwapara Yuga. So now we have only one thing, little truthfulness, that people still believe, like we believe in government, we believe in banks, that's why we put all our money there. So some truthfulness is there, and there is some faith on the people. Otherwise, they will not lend the money or anything to anybody if they don't have any truthfulness at all. In Satyuga, every human being was practically a qualified Brahmana of the highest order. And in the social orders, they were all Paramhansas. So in the Varna, the Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So these are 4. So everybody was almost Brahmana, all having Brahmanical qualities. So what are the Brahmanical qualities? If you follow these 4 principal pillars of Dharma, then it's about Brahmanical qualities. And in the Varna, in the ashrama, brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. So in this one, it is the sannyasi. Everybody was almost like a sannyasi. And in the sannyas also, there are 4 orders, 4 different stages. So this was the Paramhansa stage, which is the topmost stage of sannyasi. So people were so pious in the Satyuga. But then slowly, everything started deteriorating, and one leg was breaking in each age. So such strong men of character were competent enough to get away from the clutches of Maya. So people, in that age, Satyuga, nobody was affected. Actually, Maya Devi, Kali-yuga, effect of Kali-yuga, Maya Devi was there, but she was not bothering the human being because they were living purely. In Kali-yuga, the problem is, everybody is dishonest and nobody trusts anybody, so everything's deteriorated so much and they're deteriorating more and more. So that's why Maya Devi's effect we are seeing. We are getting more and more attracted to Maya Devi. So we can see, how strong is the Maya Devi, but how, if we follow the basic principles, then Maya Devi's effect will not be on us. Because we know, like Maya Devi comes to everybody. She came to Haridas Thakur also, but what Haridas Thakur did actually, that Maya Devi came in the form of a prostitute to Haridas Thakur. But even Haridas Thakur was so pure, so powerful because of his devotion, that he made the Maya Devi even a great devotee. So we can imagine, how is the power of pure bhakti. And that's proper example just happened 500 years ago. So we should know that what bhakti can do. We will not be touched even by the Maya Devi if we are a pure devotee. But gradually the basic principle of Brahminical culture, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, became curtailed by proportionate development of pride, attachment for women, and intoxication. So we slowly what happened actually, these principles started going down and down, and people actually started getting the pride, attachment for women, and intoxication. And these three things are very prominent. Everybody has pride in it, and that pride, that's what we said, with our soul, what goes after the death, the mind, the intelligence, and the false pride, false ego. So this pride actually everybody has up to some extent, like aham mameti, me and mine. So that things actually make us more proud. This is me, and I do this thing, I do this thing. So everybody, tries to glorify ourselves, So this mentality actually diminish our all ability to fight with Maya. So if we are not so selfish and we do not have pride, then it will be very easy to overcome the Maya. And second thing is attachment to woman also, and intoxication. So many people take different intoxications nowadays, and then their brain doesn't work properly. The path of salvation or the path of transcendental bliss retreated far away from the human society. That's why, because of the rampant like getting with the pride and attachment to woman and intoxication, these are getting more and more in Kali Yuga. That's why we cannot transcend to the blissful position, So that's very, very away from the society. With the progression of age of Kali, people are becoming very proud. So this prideness actually should go away. And prideness means what? We give excessive importance to ourselves. That I'm this, I'm the leader, I'm the minister, I'm chief minister, I'm the president, this kind of thing, of the country. So different things, people make us pride. I'm very rich guy. I have so big house. I have so many cars. I have so many servants, So these all things come into picture. And attachment to woman and intoxication. By the influence of age of Kali, even a pauper is proud of a penny. Even a people, kind of a beggar, he is also says, oh, I have 1 lakh rupee now. I have 1 car, like that, The women are always dressed in overly attractive fashion to victimize the minds of the men. So we know how, when we go out, we see different billboards and how the ladies are like dressed, are outside in the society. We go in parties, like I was attending the wedding for last 3-4 days of the Arvind Sharma, and the Nidhi Mataji's son, Varun's wedding, and so many women were dressing so little cloth, that you feel shameful that what they are wearing. So this kind of things, overly attractive fashion to victimize the minds of men. And the man is addicted to drinking wine, smoking, drinking tea, and chewing tobacco, etc. So men are also victimized by all this wine, smoking, taking drugs. How many people take the drug like marijuana and cocaine and heroin and all those things, are used so much nowadays. And we see all around us, how many people die actually with the drugs, overdose of the drugs in that drinking wine. because after drinking wine, their mind doesn't work at all. And sometimes, they are fighting unnecessary with somebody. So these things happens. And when we have so much pride, that also makes us think that we are a very great person. And we fight with different people, that how you can say that to me? I'm so big man like that. So this all very deluding it. And the more we delude that, get attracted to these things, then we will be less attracted to effect of the Maya Devi. Maya Devi will actually catch us. Maya Devi is waiting for us, to get into these traps, because that's Maya Devi's work Lord gave, that attract people to effect of the Maya Devi, and then Maya Devi can grab them. But that's why she could not grab Haridas Thakur, because he was a pure devotee. So if we follow the principles, proper principles of religion, then we will not be victimized. All these habits are so-called advancement of civilization, or the root cause of all irreligiosities. So all irreligiosities comes because this advancement of civilization, people on the name of advancement, people are like, the Mataji is wearing less cloth because they are saying, oh, I'm more advanced, I need not to cover every inch of body like that, So that is the problem. Actually, the people say, what is the advanced civilization? That I look so good, so cool like that. And that's why irreligiosity goes more and more. Therefore, it is not possible to check the corruption, bribery, and nepotism. So why these things are there? Because we cannot check them. The corruption goes because people need more and more money, and then they take the bribery, and the whole system gets corrupt. Now we can say how any work to be done in India, now you have to give some bribery. Even you go to a small peon, he won't let you go in the office and meet even the collector or tehsildar or even a patwari, you have to give him pride, right, to talk to him at least, So this is the thing, nowadays. And therefore, it is not possible to check corruption, bribery, and nepotism. Men cannot check all these evils simply by statutory act and police vigilance. So police cannot do anything. He cannot check everybody, and he cannot protect you all the times, So we have to save ourselves. But he can cure the disease of mind by proper medicine. So how we cannot trust on police or anybody, but we can take shelter of the Vedic literatures, and we can cure the disease of our mind. How? By advocating principles of Brahmanic culture. And what are those principles? Principles are austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. So modern civilization and economic development are creating a new situation of poverty and scarcity, with the results of blackmailing the consumer's commodity. So actually what is happening, we see the more and more of modernization. Like before, the farmers in the villages were very happy. We all know that, and we see that they were sleeping nicely. They were not in need of any sleeping pills or many medicine. They were healthy also, they will work hard. Now, even you can imagine with the modernization, the tractors came in the villages. And what happened with those tractors? It took away work up to 100, 300 people, just one tractor like that. So there's so many tractors in the town, in the small villages. And then the men became completely free, there's no work for the men. So what happened then? That then those villagers started coming to city for looking the job, because there was no job. Only farmers will have the tractors, and they will just do all the agriculture work with those tractors, and the men became completely workless. Then they came to city, and this more and more industry came, and those people also who came to city, they were deluded by Maya Devi in the form of drugs or playing the gambling. The gambling, attraction is so much in small villages. They go to small town and play gambling and lose all their money. And they sometimes even give their wives jewelry also, in the gambling. So many people got victimized by this gambling because there was no work. So this modernization actually didn't help much. Before, people were much happier than what we are now. Even 50 years ago, people were much better off, modern civilization and development are creating a new situation of poverty. That's why the poverty is coming, and scarcity with result blackmailing the consumers. Then they blackmail, people get attracted to drugs, suppose, and then they will blackmail that. Now, in the beginning, they give you free pills, like even in high schools here in USA, I heard that some people, will bring some drugs there, and in the beginning they will give free of charge, and then later on they will say, no, you bring the money. Then students will steal the money, and all those things are going on. So they became victimized with these things, because they get intoxicated and they got habituated, that they have to actually have the drug, because otherwise they will get all withdrawal symptoms of the drugs. So that's why happens. Advocating principle Brahmanical culture of the austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. So we need these 4 pillars of religion, and then we will be very happy. So I was talking about these 4 religious principles, and then I got diverted. So let's finish that. The regulatory principles are required to be followed by all normal human beings. Bhakti comes later, but because once we follow these principles, we will be on human platform. Then we can actually cultivate the Bhakti culture, actually. Otherwise not. So all saints and of all religion actually advocate that. So let us talk a little bit about intoxication. Intoxication actually impedes the clarity of our thinking, because once we take intoxication, our mind is not clear. Then we will think in very, very different way, and makes it harder to remember. At that time, how we can remember the God when our mind is so dull with the drugs, and we will not know what are the instructions of the Lord, what is his will actually. So we will not know. So to follow the God's order and know him, we have to give up the intoxicants. Otherwise, this intoxication actually will not let us think about the Lord at all. A person, who is completely intoxicated, how he can think about the Lord? There is no way. And also, intoxication of material products actually. So these material products will take us to material world actually. Again, so we will be more materialistic rather than going towards spiritual things. So actually, we see all the these literatures. They all the time say, don't take any drinking, don't take any intoxicant. So this principle is based on the austerity actually, because this finishes our austerity. We are not austere anymore, because once we are drunk or taken intoxicants, then we cannot have any austerity. We will just take drug and lie down, and so this way. So actually, the end point of human life is to get meditation, like Krishna says, Sarvadharmam parityajya mamekam sharanam braja aham tam sarvapapebhyo mokshayashyami mahasucha. Abandon all varieties of religion. So how we can follow if we don't take an intoxicant? Otherwise, we cannot. But somebody can ask actually, then why Lord Krishna made these drugs? What was the need? But Krishna didn't give us the drugs. Actually, we made it ourselves, because we wanted to get away from Krishna. That was our mistake on the first part. So Krishna didn't make them. In fact, actually, we wanted to enjoy independent of Krishna. And that's why actually Krishna gave us this facility. Okay, you want to enjoy material world, then use these drugs, be happy. That's what we are in this situation now. So it is now our own choice actually to get trapped with these drugs or alcohol or anything, or get out of the illusion by following the blissful form of Satchidananda, full of knowledge, full of bliss, and full of eternity. So it's our choice. We can go towards eternity or we can go towards the drugs. So actually, if we chant Hare Krishna, which is the end point of our bhakti, actually, if we keep chanting, it can liberate us actually. Or we can follow it now, or we can follow it after 50 or 100 or thousands or millions of births, and we can live in the darkness. Or we can start thinking that I have to actually get rid of all these things, and follow the religious principles, then you can do it in this lifetime only. So Krishna has given nice choice. So let us talk a little bit about the eating meat. So actually, we should know very well that these animals or plants even, have the soul, but plants have the feelings in consciousness in very small amount. But animals also, we have seen, the cow is taken to the slaughterhouse, we can see practically the tears in the eye. So we can imagine, they also understand. They have very developed consciousness actually. So to killing them is an unnecessary actually, because Lord has given us so many grains, so many things to eat, so many nuts, fruits, and leaves, everything they have given. And Krishna also says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toya. So when these things are there to eat, why we should kill the animal? And it's very irreligious actually. This is, if we have a religion, that means, this is the form of compassion, mercy to the animals, So we should actually have the compassion for every jiva soul. That's why we say, jiva daya. We have to have daya. We have to say mercy to the animals. So 1 second, Mataji, because my power is finishing. So I have to go to, I will start in my lab, because I was traveling last night and I could not charge my phone. So just 1 second, give me, and I will start on iPad, so I can continue. Just 1 second, please be there, and I will join through it.
Yeah, or if you have your charger, you can just plug the charger into the phone and it should be fine.
Yes.
Nearby.
Okay. Okay, I'm here now. Let me shut up. Shut up one place. Okay, I'm all right now. All right.
Yes.
So we are talking about the flesh meat eating. So actually, if you see the logic also, by logic also, we can see that our intestine is very short, So vegetables, fruits, grains, they can be digested. But to digest a meat, scientifically, we need very, very long intestine. Like a lion eats a meat, we can see the tiger's, lion's intestine. It's very, very long, many feet. Our intestine is very short. So it cannot digest. So actually, scientifically also, we should not eat, not just on the Vedic principles, but it is not in our favor, and we lose all the mercy if we eat meat. So we should give up the meat eating. Other thing is that no gambling, because what happens with gambling, actually, we lose everything, whatever. And scriptures, that's why it says that actually we should have the concept of devotees to surrender fully to the Lord and depend on Him by doing the honest and sincere effect. So gambling and all sorts of illegal stuff drift us away from our actually spiritual practices, bhajans, because once we do gambling, then everything goes away. We don't think about Lord, but we think, how I'm going to win, and lose more and more money. So actually, do not make us dependent on the Lordship. That's why it's absolutely forbidden. And we can even know from the Mahabharata also that Maharaj Yudhishthira was like invited by Sakuni and the Duryodhan for the gambling match, and then how he lost everything, So just to teach us the lesson, actually, it's not like that. Yudhishthira Maharaj, Dharmaraj, he knew, but like Kshatriya kings at that age, that if somebody invites you, you have to play. They have no choice like that. It's not like Yudhishthira Maharaj wanted to play gambling, it's not like that. But it gives us so good lesson that we should never play, otherwise we can lose everything. And next is the illicit sex. What the sex means? Sex means for procreation only, not for fun. And because we all are children of God, so actually we should produce the children, but it's our duty also to make them God conscious, and we should not have the sex for the enjoyment. That's so sex for the purpose of religion is very good, because Krishna himself says that kamo asmi, if you follow, I'm the calm, if it is not against the religious principles. So Krishna says he is the sex life that is not contrary to religious principles. So by sex only, we procreate the children of ideal standard of Vedic scriptures. And the married couple actually can support each other in the bhakti. That's the main principle. And then we can have children which are religious. We can teach them how we can be doing the bhajans, chanting. The children will see right from the birth, that my parents are doing proper bhakti, how they are chanting, and they will follow, because all the time children follow their parents. So if we do bhakti, we can, so it will be very nice environment actually, then we can have 10 children, no problem at all. If somebody can afford it, they can have it as many as they want, but they should be taught properly. If you make devotees, Krishna will be very happy rather than getting married. So it is the conditioning of many lifetimes that one is fighting with, because this tendency is not like sexual tendencies comes in the main, but it is coming from many, many previous births also, so that people are like that. And that's why the grahastha life is permitted, that people can marry, have married life, and they can have sex, but then they should procreate the children, Krishna conscious children. That's why. But it should not be otherwise, So that is important. So let us see what Prabhupada is writing next. If the leaders and the rich men of the society spend 50% of their accumulated wealth mercifully for the misled mass of the people and educated them in God consciousness, the knowledge of Bhagavatam, certainly the age of Kali will be defeated in its attempt to entrap the conditioned souls. So actually conditioned soul means we are fully entrapped by Maya Devi. So Maya Devi's effect can go away if all the leaders and all the rich men actually give their 50% of money for the purpose of spreading Krishna consciousness. Then people can be devotees, rather than parmis, and then whole society will actually follow the Bhagavad Dharma. But how it can be done actually, like the saints, like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they have actually gave us the example, how to do it properly. Like Sanatana Goswami actually is a symbol of humility, and Raghunath Das Goswami is the symbol of austerity. So this saints, actually give us how to do it. So Rupa Goswami actually showed us practically, that he was so rich man, and so he put his gold, all the gold, in 4 boats, and two boats he gave us for spreading the religion, for the Lord God conscious activity. He gave it to he gave it to Guru, and then Krishna consciousness can spread like that. So in 25% he kept for emergency, and 25% he kept for his family expenses. So that is the proper way one can do, And it is advised by Srila Prabhupada here that 50% people spend for the mass of the people, educate them in God consciousness and spreading the knowledge of Bhagavatam, then society can be very nice. So Sri Prabhupada's actually vision was so bright, so broad, that It's not for any devotees or anything. It's for general mass of people. Actually, if we can do, whole society can be actually get better condition, but and we will not be any more conditioned souls. Everybody will be elevated if the Bhagavatam is spread all over the world. We must always remember that false pride or too high estimate of one's own value. This is the false pride actually, that everyone actually have too high estimate of one's value in the life. So if we don't do that okay, I'm so great. If they don't have it, I'm so big devotee, that's actually falling down from our spiritual position. Then Kali will not affect us so much. Undue attachment to woman and association with them. If associate with the woman also is very bad, which except our wife, every mother, every female should be considered as mother. And we know in Chanakya Niti, what he says, Matravata Paradareshu, Paradarveshu Loktavat, Atmavata Sarvabhuteshu Yaha Pashyati Saha Panditaha. So the wise man actually thinks all the mothers, Matravata Paradareshu, other person's wife. Paradareshu means other person's wife. He thinks about other person's wife as his own mother. And Paradraveshu, other person's dhan, the money, he considers as a piece of garbage, that kind of thing. And Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu, and he thinks all Jiva souls like himself, like that's why in English it is said that you first put yourself in his shoe, like that, So if somebody is killing other animal, if you put in yourself like his position, and then see, what happens to if somebody kills you, what happens, that then you will not murder somebody, or you will not do the rape or things like that. All the bad things will go away. If you think, that somebody does to me, what will happen to me? So that's why Chanakya Pandit says that attachment to the woman is very bad, We should not even, our Shastra says that we should not sit on the same sofa with our own daughter also, or any relative or any other Matajis, So that in the previous age, people were so strict with all these rules and regulations, but nowadays those rules and regulations got so lax, people are like hugging each other, and all those things, but that should not be the way, Mataji should not be even touched by the male except your own wife, Yeah, you should not. So that way people can live proper life, and they can be pure. Otherwise, they get all contaminated that way. Because Kali's effect is to attract towards all these effects of Kali, the three modes of material nature. And that's why Kali actually working so hard in Kali Yuga. Undue attachment to women and associated with them, and intoxicant will divert human civilization to the path of peace. However, much of the people clamor to peace in the world. Many people say that, okay, we will bring the peace by this and by this, but they are all the false processes. No peace will come unless we all become God conscious. The preaching of the Bhagavatam principles will automatically render all men austere, clean both inside and outside, and merciful to the suffering and truthful in daily behavior. So see how Prabhupada is writing, in so strong term, that what Bhagavatam principles actually will do automatically if we follow the Bhagavatam properly. They will clean the people inside and outside. So they will be and merciful to the suffering people. So we will have mercy. The people will not kill anybody. People will not take drinks, and intoxicant, all these things. That is the way of correcting the flaws of human society. So that way, if we follow Bhagavatam principles, the Brahmanical culture, by following the pillars of religious principles like austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, if we follow these things, then which are very prominent exhibited at the present age, present moment. So we can actually make the society very beautifully if everyone follows, that's why Krishna Consciousness Movement is doing that. And I'm so happy that Sri Prabhupada and his devotees, all the devotees, children, grandchildren, everyone working so hard So temples are actually increasing. More and more temples are coming up, and everything is getting good. So actually, it's Lord's mercy. So Srila Prabhupada actually told, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that for 10,000 years, this great culture of the people will follow this Krishna consciousness culture for 10,000 years. But then slowly it will come down, and people will be more and more worst, getting worst, and they will not follow the religious principles. So we have to see that this leg also, next sloka we will read that this one leg, whatever is remaining, of truthfulness, which is also going down, and slowly this will also break actually. So the Maya Devi actually shows in the Kali Yuga all the time our own real Swarup, Maya Swarup, what Maya Devi. And so any Jiva souls, any human being who is actually wants to come in the trade, so she will actually attract him that much, and he will suffer that much actually. The people, so we see here, the people are attracted to Maya Devi, are attracted to Lord. We see devotees are only hardly 0.1% in the whole material world. But we see how many people are attracted to Maya. Too many. So all these people go on being attracted by the Maya. And Lord is saying, Sarvadharam Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vajam, but nobody is trying to listen that thing. So actually we should get under the shelter of Krishna and not get affected by the Maya Devi. Stay away from Maya Devi. Like we can hold the pillar by our hands and say, oh Maya, I cannot get away from him. That's our ignorance actually, we can open our hand and get away from that pole, which is the form of Maya Devi. So that is the way up for us actually to take the shelter of a guru and follow him properly, his instructions, and then we can make our life actually sublime. And that's the way we can cultivate all the culture of Brahmanical culture with the truthfulness, austerity, and mercy and cleanliness, and then we can actually make the society much better. So it's almost 9 o'clock, so I will end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If you have any question or comment, I will be very happy to discuss.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. If anybody has questions, please just raise your hand and you can unmute yourself. Prabhu, the question I had was, a lot of people say, oh, I connect to God. I don't have to come to the temple, or I don't have to sing. I believe in God, but more than that, I believe that we should be good people. We should be, and that's all they say is we should be good people. We should be good to everybody. And as devotees, I don't think we are all trying. We are not perfect. So sometimes we do make mistakes, and that mistake is used as a excuse. See, you are doing that, so going to the temple is not doing anything good for you. How do you counter that? What do you say to people when they say, oh, I'm a good person, I speak the truth, I'm not mean to anybody, I'm not bad to anybody?
Yes, Mataji. So actually that's like these people say, I'm good, I'm religious. All the Indians, you ask anybody, they will say, yes, I am. But actually that brings them only to the level of human platform, they are human, they are not animals, they are human if they are good in other things. But you have to do devotional service actually to get elevated in the spiritual life actually, you cannot just say, I'm good, I'm doing good to the others, those things are good karma. They both are bad actually, you just either you can take advantage of the results of your good work, but you are still like in a material platform actually, you are not in the spiritual platform. So to be in a spiritual platform, we have to follow the Vedic injunctions, whatever Guru says, we have to follow. So that's important actually. Then we will elevate. We have to transcend these all three modes. We are still, even we are good, we are still under the modes of material nature. But if we transcend slowly, then we can be elevated that way.
So everybody is on their own path. Everybody is at a different stage. So if we can tell them, but whether or not they accept it is in their hands, not in our hands, right?
Right.
Sometimes, especially with family, that's where the difficulty is. We want to help them, but that is their journey. We cannot force.
Right. Yeah, Krishna himself actually gave everyone, all the jiva, the independence, whether you stay under the control of Maya Devi or you stay under my control, So it's our own choice, because Lord doesn't want somebody like forcing them, that, okay, you chant my name, why Lord will do that, Lord will never do that. If you want, it's for our own benefit actually, that we chant, we remember him all the time. So that way, yeah, but many people have misconception that, okay, if I just follow the religious principles, and be good to others, I will be devotee, but that's not the definition of devotion, Devotion, that's why Prabhupada all the time say devotional service. It's not just devotion. Devotional service, yes. So we have to do serve Vaishnava, serve a Guru, serve a Lord, serve a temple, so all these things we have to serve. Then only we will get elevated.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Sure, Mataji.
I just, usually I used to eat this vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Oh, if we say that, we should be killing, that life is, we cannot take a life. There are some people argue, oh, how do you say that plant also has life? Well, you're killing the plants. You're killing the plants and you're taking the fruits from them. So what is that? No, that is also killing. They argue. So what kind of answer we should give?
Yeah, the animals has very developed consciousness actually, like quite, they know, they cry, they have feeling, you can see the cough of the cow, there will be 1 million cows, he will come and recognize the mother. So they have the brain, of course, but when the plants actually have very, very low consciousness actually. So, and we eat normally the fruits, the fruits will rot anyway. So it's not killing the plant, the fruits will come in the plant again. Some plants we actually take away whole plant, like this dhania, kothmir we eat, so yeah, whole thing, right? But they also have very mild consciousness, and when we offer, so we don't get that kind of karma, like killing the animal, because the animal cries so much, and and then next life we have to suffer, that we become animal, and then the animal becomes a man, and then he eats us, So
but their argument is, plants, they cry silently, they won't talk.
Yeah.
So that is more they feeling, that's what they say, argument.
Actually, they just want to say that, okay, I'm not doing anything bad, just they want some excuse to eat animals, Animal eating is bad anyway, so what can be done? It's unfortunate. But
a lot of arguments like this, even this going to temple and servicing, some people argue like that. Oh, if I go to temple only, I am a devotee? No, God is in my heart. That's all I know. That kind of arguments are just, it is impossible to.
Art has to be pure, it accumulated so much dust. So it has to be pure. Otherwise, you may not be devotee. You may doing good things to others, but it doesn't make you any devotee, So that is the problem. They don't understand what is the proper dharma. They don't know the definition of dharma. So then that's why it's very hard to argue with them, but whatever we can try, that animal says much. They understand everything, many things, they produce children, they have the feeling, everything, they feel cold, hot, everything. Plant actually does not have that much developed consciousness, and that's why, and we offer it and then eat. But Krishna has told us, that what we can offer to him, we cannot offer him the meat. We can say, okay, you can offer the meat, but you cannot. Krishna never said that you can offer me the meat, So what we have to listen to Krishna actually, and that is the proper way to deal with. But people will not. Many people who are very much more attracted to the meat eating, it's very hard for them.
Yeah.
Because their brain doesn't work. The brain makes completely dull, their brain, and then you can argue 10 times, they will not understand these things, So slowly, they will get the kicks from the Maya Devi, and after millions of lifetime, they will understand, that I was wrong. So, but what can be done?
Muktatri Mataji and then Kalpesh Prabhu. Go ahead, Mataji. Kalpesh Prabhu, maybe you can. Oh, there she is. Go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandatanam. This is Bajesh Govinda Das.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
How are you?
All right, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you, bro. Yeah, this I heard this for the there's a 4 pillars of the dharma, like Sattva, Tapa, Daya, Shocha. Is it, Prabhuji, like, can you a little bit explore? Is it start to broken? Like in the Sattva Yuga, it is already already Sattva Yuga. I heard that this 4 pillar already there, already stayed in the same.
At the time of end of Satyuga, 1 pillar was broken. I do not know actually in what sequence they got broken, but one pillar was broken in Satyuga, 1 in Dwapar Yuga, 1 in Treta Yuga, like that, and then Kali Yuga we have left with only, like bull was standing only on 1 leg, Dharma is standing on only 1 leg.
Oh, okay.
That
yeah, I Prabhuji, yeah, okay. Sorry. I read the Prabhupada part, but he said like Sattva Yuga there is nothing to broke might be. I'm not sure also this is okay, no problem.
No, by the end, when Satyuga was many years, very long time. So by the end of Satyuga,
beginning,
by the end of Satyuga.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah. Kalpesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. Very nice class and very good points have been brought up, and which makes me a little bit thinking about Shubharada Mataji question and Vinyavali Mataji question. This is a common question we come across when we are trying to interact with somebody. To see why not to come to temple and they think in their own way that they are doing good. So there could be several factors, because one of the factor could be the impressions which we have created on their mind with our own behavior, which is playing, number 1. That's one thing. And number 2 could be throughout the history we have seen people going to the temple, but then they are most of the not to, because we don't know what is happening in everybody's mind when they go to the temple, but it ended up into some kind of ritualistic way, which is not a wrong thing if somebody understand in a right spirit, but it ended up in the society with superstitions and trying to get some results out of it. So this is a very popular misconception in everybody's mind, saying that okay, when the temples are just not so good because it's not going to help anyone. So those impression has built up very strong, particularly in Eastern society, where people are just going based on some andhashraddha, like not having shraddha on the God, but they want some benefits, so they are really going for that. And but people don't understand that जितना अंदर श्रद्धा को निकालना जरूरी है, उतना सच्ची श्रद्धा को भी बढ़ाना जरूरी है. तो that is not being worked, right? And it is because it is a hard thing to work, and it is a tough thing to work, and that's why people don't do it. So in those situations, how do we really interact with those? I think so elevating our own behavior, um, and sometimes looking that, okay, uh, if because I have to struggle to find my own weaknesses, and I have to be knowing that what is really not working for me to become a perfect devotee. So somebody is really pointing out it, oh, you are devotee, but you are making these mistakes, so which is we are not perfect. We understand that, and we want to be perfect, and so sometimes we can see, like we can also see that way, okay, that person is calling out my weaknesses, and maybe my behavior has gone wrong somewhere, and that behavior, I think so, can be changed, and that impression will come with time. And particularly when we are living in a close relationship, people don't have too much respect with each other, so because they have taken it that impressions are so strong in them, and it's very difficult with to overcome those in those scenarios. So I think so our how we modulate our behavior would be only way to elevate in those situations, and really and sometimes we should tell our weakness story rather than what we are like doing good. If we start telling our own weakness, the other person in their mind, they will automatically uh, think, okay, no, he is introspecting now, on this, and he's thinking really hard that he want to elevate his own consciousness and how he can improve in every situation, and probably giving some love to that person at that time, showing love to that person in that way. So that is how I handle it in past, and I think so I got less friction versus when I became confrontation to them, and it ended up into like, okay, a lot of argument and discussion, and really, and it will only agitate our own mind because they are not there in that platform to really take it. So how would we even, any words doesn't help at that point. That's my opinion on that.
You said nice points actually. Like people go to temple, but we don't go to temple. People go to temple just to show up, that I'm religious. I go to temple, and just for showing up, and also socialization. Many people temple, just think, it's a picnic place. They eat together, talk together, chit chat, things like that. So that's not the purpose actually. They don't know the right purpose if they go for this thing. If they actually, we go to temple so that Lord can actually see us.
Yes.
And can give us his mercy, actually, his blessings. So those things, actually, we go for that. Bhakta all the time goes that Lord can see me. There was a blind devotee. We have a story, and that he was going to temple. So many, like in that temple, which is the famous temple in Vrindavan, Banke Bihari temple. He was going there every single day, and there was so much rush many times, and he will get crushed, from outside. So many people will tell him, why you come? You cannot see. So why do you come to temple? And he said that I am blind, although, but God can see me. I want God to see me actually and be merciful to me and give his blessings. So people don't understand that kind of sentiment, and they go for different purpose. Somebody goes to temple asking things from the Lord that please give me. We should never consider Lord as order supplier. Whatever is in our prarabdha, we will automatically get it. Even with little trial. Many people work so hard from morning to evening, still don't get that much because that's not in their product, so they cannot be rich person, that's why many people are poor. It's all Lord's arrangement that way, people don't understand that. So actually people will understand these things, even you tell them, many people will not, but to understand even Bhagavatam or anything, one has to have the kripa of a Vaishnava or his spiritual master. Even somebody wants to read Bhagavad Gita, he will not understand it if he's karmi. That's why many translations, Bhagavad Gita has 700 translations. If you read the translations of the karmi people, they do not understand what actually Krishna wants to say. So this is the thing, one has to get mercy of Krishna and mercy of the Guru. Then only, and mercy of the Vaishnava, then only we will understand these things, So, but it's our job actually, Prabhupada has given that we have to preach and we have to, so we have to very exemplary actually, devotee has to be very exemplary, then only people will listen, If they are telling something like many pandits, say something, we should be like this, we should be like this, and if you yourself are not following those principles, how we can expect somebody to follow our principles, what we are teaching. So we have to be actually very, very practical and very serious in the bhakti ourselves. Then we can, effect of that will be that person will, like Haridas Thakur, the prostitute came. Why she converted? He saw that how purely he's chanting, he was seeing. So this is Vaishnava's actually blessings, that prostitute can become the pure devotee. So that is the effect actually. So we have to be practical ourselves first, then we can definitely preach, otherwise not. Okay, Arundhati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat. It's a very beautiful class as always. I really, we have heard many times and we have the strong belief that whenever we pray intensely to Krishna, Krishna will give the response some way or other. I just, before Vindhyavali Mataji asked that question to you, Prabhu, I was just telling my mother-in-law, like we have to pray for that one of a close relative who has been constantly eating non-veg. So and just I was just telling we have to feel compassionate for them. There's no point of in telling them because we can't force them also. Now like that. And just that point came that Mataji asked that question. I immediately took the phone and I went to her and said, see, the same question has come here. This so develops our Shraddha more. That to say that Krishna is really there listening to us. Just wanted to thank you, Prabhu. So just by our prayers, I got the guarantee that no, we can, their consciousness will be changed by Krishna's mercy. Yes. Thank you.
Sometimes we should invite them, to give them the prasadam, how nice it tastes, they will forget about meat, the Krishna prasadam is so tasteful, so if you give prasadam, their mentality will change, definitely, so that's why ISKCON is giving so many plates of prasadam, distributing it freely, and that's why people are changing now. Many people think, that eating meat is not good, and we can see more and more vegetarians are developing. So, and gradually whole society can change, and change habit of eating meat, because they do not know people are ignorant. This is the problem. They don't know what is the proper food. If they know what is the proper food, because right from the beginning, their mothers are giving, parents are giving, meat, and many people do not know that even some animal has to be sacrificed to get meat. They think, the meat is available in the supermarket. So people get from there, and they don't think about this, all mercy and all those things, because that some animal is killed by me and I'm getting the pap karma by eating meat. They don't know. They are completely in ignorance. So we have to reach that way that what we get, our karmas, in next life, that animal will become human and then they will kill you, So this kind of people don't know. So we have to teach them that way. Thank you, Mata.
We can give the prasadam when they are with us, but when they are far away,
purify their mentality. Yes.
Mentally by prayers. Thank you. Thank you.
See, in this Prasada prayer, Prabhu, just now I just doing that. The tongue is the most voracious and uncontrollable. Yes. It is very difficult to conquer the tongue in this world. So once they start eating, they think that is the only thing they tasty. So, yeah. But Prasada prayer, that's what we do, Sharira Vidyaja. So,
yes, Mataji.
Tongue is the most.
Thank you for asking that question and for answering for that. Right on time, we got the response.
All right. Anybody has any other comments or questions? Otherwise, we can stop now. Yes, almost 9:49:25. So, Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful class.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.